Have you ever wished you could just listen to a summary of a super dense report? Or maybe your own notes? Well, there's a Google Labs tool called NotebookLm that went absolutely viral for doing exactly that. It can turn any document you give it into a surprisingly realistic podcast. So let's get into how it all works.
So this quote is from Riza Martin. She's the product lead for NotebookLm. And she said this right after the tool did something nobody on the team expected, something that proved just how creative this thing could be.
So what was it? What could an AI possibly do to get that kind of reaction from its own creator? I mean, was it some brilliant summary of a complex scientific paper, a poetic analysis of a novel? Nope. It was something much, much weirder.
Yeah, it was what users on Twitter started calling the poop fart one. Someone literally fed the AI a document with just 2 words, poop and fart, repeated endlessly. The team thought, okay, this is going to spit out total gibberish. But instead, they got this hilarious, totally coherent podcast debating the philosophical nuances of these 2 words. And that's the moment they knew they were onto something special. That story, as funny as it is, perfectly captures the feature that made this tool an internet sensation. So let's actually break down what went viral. The feature is called Audio Overview, and its magic is really in its simplicity. It's literally a one-click experience. You can upload your sources, a PDF, a website, your meeting notes, whatever. Click one button, and just minutes later, you get a full-on conversation between 2 AI hosts breaking it all down for you. There's no complex settings, no learning curve. It's just instant audio.
But here's the thing. As cool as that podcast feature is, it's really just the hook. The tool itself is so much more than a podcast generator. So what is NotebookLm, really? Well, NotebookLm started with a very human problem. The product lead, Riza Martin, she was an adult learner and found herself just struggling with these dense, complicated textbooks. And she had this thought, what if I could just talk to this textbook? And that little spark led to a whole new AI tool designed to make any information way more digestible. Now, the crucial difference here, and this is a big one, is that this is not just another general AI. NotebookLm is what's called a source-grounded AI. That means it doesn't pull answers from the huge, messy internet. Its entire universe of knowledge is limited only to the documents you give it. It becomes an expert on your stuff and nothing else.
And this shows the key difference perfectly. When you ask a general AI, like ChatGPT or Gemini, a question about a document, sometimes it can kind of drift and start pulling in outside info. NotebookLm just can't do that. It is designed to stay completely laser-focused on your sources, and that means its answers are way more relevant and accurate for whatever you're trying to do.
Okay, so how does it create those conversations that sound so shockingly human? I mean, it really does feel like magic, but it's actually a super clever, multi-step process happening behind the scenes.
See, it's not one single AI model doing all the work. It's actually a chain of commands using Google's Gemini model. First, the AI creates an outline of your material. Then, it writes a detailed script from that outline. But it doesn't stop there, and this is the cool part. It actually critiques its own script and then makes a better, modified version before it finally creates the audio. It's like a tiny, super fast writing and production team all in one.
The first secret ingredient to making it sound so real is something called disfluencies. The team realized that listening to perfect robots would just be painful, right? So they intentionally added the ums, the ahs, and the little pauses that we all use in real life. These tiny imperfections are exactly what makes the AI hosts sound so convincingly human.
And the second magic ingredient is an advanced text-to-speech model. This is not your typical robotic voice from a GPS. It automatically adds realistic emphasis, it varies its pacing, and it uses intonation to actually convey emotion. This is what gives those AI hosts their personality.
So, while the podcasts are getting all the headlines, users very quickly discovered that the real power of a personal source-grounded AI goes way beyond just listening. People are using this thing in some incredibly creative ways.
Okay, check this out. People are prepping for job interviews by uploading their resume and the interviewer's LinkedIn profile to generate a personalized prepcast. They're running book clubs by feeding it a chapter and their own notes to spark discussion. One user even helped a friend win a legal case by feeding NotebookLm over 1,000 emails and transcripts to find the key evidence. And for fun, gamers are uploading entire rulebooks for tabletop RPGs, turning the AI into an expert game master that never ever forgets a rule.
All of this really points to something bigger.
NotebookLM isn't just another cool AI tool, it actually represents a different way of thinking about how we interact with artificial intelligence altogether.
The design team talks about using something called skeuomorphism. It sounds like a fancy word, but it's a simple idea, making new tech look like familiar old tech so it's less intimidating. You know, like how the first iPhone Notes app looked like a yellow legal pad? That's skeuomorphism. By framing an AI summary as a familiar podcast, NotebookLM makes a brand new type of technology feel instantly comfortable and easy to use.
And this is the main takeaway. We're seeing a shift away from a single giant know-it-all AI. The future seems to be moving towards smaller, more personal AIs that become deep experts on what matters specifically to you, your work, your hobbies, your life.
This really leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? For centuries, we've read books and documents, but now, for the first time, we can upload that same information and have it talk back to us, explain itself, and even answer our questions. It really makes you wonder, what becomes possible when every book, every document, every note you've ever taken can actually join the conversation?